Unloaded in like 2 minutes, man. I got some yogurt on my face there. I had my salsa for breakfast to help with the vitamin C and the breathing and stuff, yeah. As we have Roundup around here. Oh, wonderful. Breathing poison, carbon emission poisoning, Roundup, pesticides. Ah, the American cocktail of freedom, right? But I finished loading that. I was like, wow, that loaded pretty quick. And then they have this one that says United States of America. It says Vice, and it has this muscle-bound moron. It looks like a beret on or something, right? It's Hell's Angels versus Pagans MC, right? Cold-blooded rivals, united, and it says more crap about their bullshit, right? And your first response, okay, as an intelligent protector of children from perverts, right, is there's not much more pathetic than Hell's Angels and Pagan MC, right? Yeah, no. Okay. Special Forces, there's not much more pathetic. I mean, we're talking about equally pathetic. You either do fucked up murdering shit as a legal murderer for corporations, or you go anti-corporation and try to invent your own corporation because it's equal. You know, it's like fuck compounding fuck on fuck. You know, so. But there is one thing that's maybe a tad bit more pathetic. What? And that is the intellectual that justifies what they're doing through science, and then is their great leader of their intellectual justification of I think with my dick and I'll kill everybody else who tries to think with their dick greater than I think with mine, right? Greater? That's probably shouldn't use that word. More. How about more than I think with mine? Okay, let's use more instead of greater. Yeah, we don't want to take the word great and apply it to people that think with their dick more than they can submit to faith in the glory of God. Right. Well, they think with their dick all the time. They're not even going to contemplate submitting to faith in the glory of God. Right, there you go. Dashcam video shows pursuit crash involving stolen Honda. Game recap, Braves versus Mets. Game highlights. Yeah, okay. We're going to have the one kid bitching about the dude from the Braves. I mean, not the Braves, Pirates. A ball got past him, and he's just frustrated because their season is just, they're like, they've been having a bad season. And then the ball just went out, and he goes, like Freddie Prinze Jr. with his grandpa, your dad fucked up and you're fucking up too. It's like, okay, here we go. And that's what the kid felt like. I'm this big athletic player that has lots of talent, and fuck, the season's gone south, and now this happens, and I'm tired, and everybody's yelling at you and telling you make $4 million a year and you suck, right? It's Pittsburgh, okay? And you're sitting there going, I'm 6'7", I can run a 4.40, and I can hit the ball 450 yards. And I got some drunk asshole that works at the airport cleaning urinals yelling at me, telling me how much I suck at baseball, right? Like, hey, just forgive debt and trespass, love one eternal faithful peace. I'm sure playing baseball will be a much more pleasant experience in the city of Pittsburgh. What do you think? Hell's Angels? Pagan MC? Okay. Pagan's MC. Cold-blooded rivals, right? You're like, damn! And then what happens? You let some... It's funny. It is. It's serendipity doo-dah. It's karma. You let. Okay. A rocket science surveillance camera pervert like Wallowitz or Kuthrapali, who do a threesome with Sailor Moon at Comic-Con, right? Be the head of your Think with the Dick Club to try to kill the Messiah off the face of the planet to keep the Think with the Dick Club rulers from on high forever and ever, right? Hope importata me. Everybody's speaking Latin. Pig Latin? Close enough. Right? Do you understand? So you're like sitting there looking at this going, really? Okay. So multimillionaires keeping billionaires billionaires for holding food and clothing and shelter hostage make for excellent rocket commercial. Oh, we know how wonderful it feels to own your first house, to lay on that mattress you just bought because you got an extortion gig that makes you feel comfortable. So you can be a real asshole to the center fielder of the Pittsburgh Pirates because he's supposed to be so talented and we suck compared to the other teams. Oh, maybe he's young. Maybe it's hard to, playing sports against other guys that are good at sports. Okay, isn't always easy, especially at first when you're young and the other guys have more experience at doing it and are calmer at doing it and can just kind of like, just slow the game down. Yo ho, slow the game down. Take the ball and send it over the left field bleachers. Hi, give me some time to slow the game down. And you do. When you're really good, it slows down for you. Okay. Everybody else is like moving in slow motion. And you're like tap dancing around them and tiptoeing. When you're that talented, but there's only like 1% of the athletic population that is that talented. Okay. That can jump over other people's heads and tap dance on them to the way to the basket and leave them like they're standing still. You just sit and watch some of those guys and you think to yourself, God, no, when I was young, no, I wasn't fooling myself and kidding myself. There were certain things like Bob said that. He goes, Earl, you go up in the air. And I guess it was the chi that runs through my body. I thought I had this, but I did. It was the chi that runs through my body. So I could jump in the air and literally move in the air 2 to 3 feet while I was jumping and then go back towards the rim. I could go and people would come at me and I could go around them and then come back in the air. And people are like, how do you do that? I don't know. Ask a scientist. But I could do things that were like just almost like, better than CGI from a Jet Li and a Jackie Chan movie, because they do their own stunts, but a lot of times they'll use CGI to make it look more spectacular. Yeah. Okay. But Earl could do things like, what the hell? Like when Naismith did the arm on Holman's back to put the putback, and you said, no, he just used them. Have you ever jumped over a pole in a parking lot when you, it's like a vaulting thing. Yeah, he vaulted. He used Holmgren's body to push himself off of it and then jump up and the Doris Burke was saying, it wasn't. No, you should see it. His the left hand is on Holmgren's shoulders, pushing himself up over Holmgren and dunking on him. Wow. Okay. No, I never did that. I got, Corey DeClue's armpit pushing me down and then put the ball up on the back of the rim while he was pushing me down because I was jumping. But I got pushed down and still put the ball on the backboard on the little, because Corey, that's what Charlie said. That was one of the greatest shots I ever saw, Earl. You put the ball on the orange portion, the backboard up there on top of it. You set it up there. I was like, I did? He was like, and then Corey goes, yeah. And I was like, I don't know. All I saw was Corey's armpit. He came up and hit me with his armpit, and I just stuck the ball up to try to score. It went in. And then Corey laughed and said, man, I shoved the shit out of you. That should have been an and one. Yeah, but I'm a Mexican and you're an Indian. You really think the white referees in Wyoming are going to give us that? Let them play. Yeah, thanks a lot. You goon. You arm. I watched Thunderheart last night. Well, let's see if this one loads. Okay. And then we'll just, we'll do the whole Alan Parsons Project thing. I don't want to live here no more. I don't want to. Where do we go from here? Now that all that. Is that games people play? Yeah. There's games people play Alan Parsons Project. There's games people play The Spinners. And there's games people play Joe Self. And I like them all. Now, how about you? Okay, guys? So, but they're not rival gangs. They're just different songs written by different people, It's expressed differently for fake-ass money. Yeah, but the Lord's Prayer is perfect. Well, we'll just keep hammering that away. Okay, guys, I love you. I love you a lot. I thought you said you were the sword. If the sword doesn't work, let's go with Thor. I'm just kidding. All right, peace.